Are you out? Don't rush in. Are you in? Don't seek exit. Marriage is hard work, so your marriage will surely work if you choose to work on it. Work out your marriage, don't work it all. Meet brother and sister SK Olupono every Saturday by 8:30 p.m. on this station. Your marriage is your life, it shall not fail.
Trouble. Is this how I'm living my life?
You're working on me to make me what I ought to be.
There is no marriage that cannot work. All you just need to do is to work on your marriage. You are not to work up your marriage.
This is Let's Get Along, Relationship Outreach of Christ Mandate Ministry, Akure, Ondo State, Nigeria. Your marriage is your Christianity. Are you out? Don't rush in. Are you in? Don't seek exit. Marriage is hard work, so your marriage will surely work if you choose to work on it. Work out your marriage, don't work it all. Meet brother and sister SK Olupono every Saturday by 8:30 p.m. on this station. Your marriage is your life, it shall not fail.
I'm in trouble. Is this how I'm living my life?
You're working on me to make me what I ought to.
You're welcome once again to Let's Get Along. This is a program sponsored by Christ Mandate Ministry, a ministry that is dedicated to homes, building homes, and also ensuring that homes live according to the purpose of God for marriages and homes. And like we've always been having on this program, the president of Christ Mandate Ministry is here with us in the studio today. I am Niyo Motenshe, the presenter of this program today. And last week we know you were with us, and today we are here again. Brother, before we continue, let me welcome my guest to the program. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very kindly. You're welcome, dear viewers at home.
We have been on a topic since last week, and we'll be talking about revisiting foundations. Last week we talked about faulty foundation and those things that could happen that could make foundation to be faulty. Today we are going to talk about adjustment in marriage. What exactly do we mean by adjustment in marriage? Why do we need adjustment? When do we need to adjust, and who should adjust? All these are the issues that we're going to look at today. And I know that you are with us, and you are going to continue with us. But if you want to be part of this program today, as we continue, you can call us through the telephone number 0811 283 3294. 0811 283 3294. So you can call us through that number if you want to be part of this program. Maybe you have questions to ask, or you have a contribution to make. Let's come back to you, sir. What exactly do we mean by adjustment in marriage?
Adjustment simply implies changes or certain shifts in our ground concerning a particular issue or particular situation that is actually obtained at a particular moment. So that there is this tendency that we come with a formed opinion about a particular thing, and by the time we get into the situation, we notice that what we prepared for is different from what we are meeting. And so for things to actually work, we really need to also change our plans, our game plan, our strategies, our intentions, our natures too, in order to be able to sustain that relationship. That is the adjustment now that we can actually explain regarding relationship, marriage relationship, is here coined.
Well, let me come. You have explained what we mean by the word adjustment in this context. Now, why should I adjust? Because this is the person I saw, and whether I envision or by just me, I like him, I love him, or I love her, I like her, and I've decided to marry her. Why should I adjust them? Because it's because we love ourselves and we knew we were compatible that made us to come together.
Yeah. You see, usually at the point of choice making, there are several assumptions, there are several things we feel, the way we perceive, or perceptions that were wrongly conceived or perceived at the formative moment. Having gotten into the relationship, we probably notice that what we have met is different from what we planned for. So in several situations, if we still want, or if we still intend to go headlong, in spite of the circumstance we are meeting on ground, we are going to scatter the situation. So for situation to work, we need to actually change our strategy or our method.
Well, if you're trying to get us and the line is not going through, or maybe the network is giving you problem, please keep trying. We are here to receive your calls and to answer all questions you may ask, or even if you have any contribution you can also make, because we are here to ensure that homes work according to God's plan for marriages. Also, you can keep calling us on the phone number 0811 283 3294. 0811 283 3294. So you were trying to explain why the adjustment. Let's take this call before we continue. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Who is on the line? Where are you calling from?
James from Akure.
Okay, what do you have to say? This is Let's Get Along on the Nigerian television of Akure. Wow.
Sorry.
We missed that call. We're sorry, but James, please keep calling. We hope to get your call before we round off this program. Okay, sir.
Yeah, like we were saying, the situation may, for example, the way you perceived the thing, you saw a particular young man or a young lady, and you feel that, wow, I loved her complexion, I loved her spoken English, I loved her profession. There are a lot of other things you never brought into consideration. Even during your courtship, as you were working together, you were probably blinded by all those things. You simply believed that all other things will simply work. After all, I am the man. It is what I dictate that she will do. It is how I want it that she will have to make it or work it. Now, in the marriage, only for you to discover that you have married another man. When he says sit down, he says you two sit down. When you say one, he says 2, 3, 4. And you say, wow, I'm in it. Or sometimes, as a man, or as a woman, just like one of the things we were just joking with, you saw the young man always very quiet, very gentle, not even the not a vulgar. When others are talking and laughing and hollering, you will see him just calm, composed, not perturbed, not in any way ruffled. So wow, I just love that young man. He's so quiet, calculated, and this. Only for you to get into
Let's
the
try
marriage.
to take this call. Sorry, sir. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, please, who's calling? Where you calling from?
I am calling from Mondo State.
From Mondo State?
From Mondo State.
Oh, Idonri.
Okay.
Okay. Please. Oh, we lost that caller. Please keep trying. Please keep trying. I hope you will still get back to us in the course of the program. Well,
So most of the times when we get into the marriage, we now realize that you now change that quietness, that calmness, you see, to dullness. You say, I never knew, sir, this man is too dull. Things like that. Then those things begins to irk you. Those things begin to trouble you. So to some, they become so irritated to a level that they begin to misbehave too. Or they want the relationship, they want to be out of the relationship entirely. It might even get to a level where they resort to battery. One may even say, I think I need to keep some gap. Then they begin to stay late, stay out.
okay, can
Let's
we?
try this again.
Hello, good evening.
What's happening to our network tonight?
Please don't flash us and just call and ask your question. But we would like to know who is calling and where you're calling from before you tell us what you want to ask or what you want to contribute. Just tell us your name and where you're calling from. Okay, sir.
So like Matthew chapter 19 verse 9 tells us that and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife except it be for fornication shall marry another committed adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away doth commit adultery. Last week I read for you 1 Corinthians chapter 7, where Paul was trying to encourage that are you married? Please don't seek an opportunity to dissolve the relationship. The challenges only need your wise attention, some adjustment, and things may be better, rather than just remain hardened, assume your status, not wanting to let go anything or bring about any innovation that can bring peace both into your life and into your matrimony. While I was discussing with my wife this evening, our mind just went straight to a particular scripture. You know, when people are not ready for adjustment, they have the relationship hard. In 1 Samuel chapter 25 is the story of two wonderful couples. I call them wonderful because they are contrast. They have contrasting natures. One is Abigail, the wife of another man called Nabal. Nabal, I don't know what Abigail saw in Nabal that made her to agree to marry Nabal. But no sooner than they got into the relationship, I perceived that Abigail saw that she was in a big trouble.
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, who's calling? Where are you calling from?
From Akure, Florence on the line.
Okay. So, what do you have to say?
Your question, please.
Your question, please.
My question is a relationship. I have a friend.
Yes.
I want to ask, in adjustment that we are talking about, how I have a friend that they've been married for over 7 years and trusting God for the two.
Yes, we can hear you.
And yet, they couldn't, nothing is coming from. The wife has been going for series of tests and the husband refused to swallow her for medical tests.
Yes.
So at the time, the lady was just taking the decision of protecting herself because she was already tired of it. So in such a case, how can we talk about adjustment in this matter?
Okay, thank you very much, Florence from Akure, for your question. Don't get, sir, you could hear that question clearly.
It's a situation of a couple now.
Yes,
Both of
they've
them
been married for
are faced with challenge, a serious challenge at that. One, that is the wife, is making every effort to make things work. But the husband seems not to be cooperating in that direction. I think that was a question.
Yes, and they've been married for about 7 years now.
Well,
should the wife keep adjusting?
in this
the husband
one,
keep
I have not
adjusting?
seen adjustment yet. I don't know what the woman had changed into. In actual sense, I'm not talking about a situation where we have mutual issues. There is nothing on ground yet, morally, attitudinally. But in this case, what I will simply say is that such woman should keep trusting God, keep praying. The Bible tells us in the book of 1 Peter chapter 3, to such a man, I will advise that, one, you have noticed now that he will not budge no matter what happens. In actual sense, the man may not be unconcerned. He too may be in some ways concerned. You know the way we handle the issue of
to say maybe one is trusting God with you.
women are always very distressed, disturbed, and troubled because they don't want that tag, barrenness. But for us, most men are just relaxed, think God will do it in His own time. And the wife may say, we need to go to hospital, to Buffalo. And it may not be that the man is wicked. It may not be that the man is just a kind of intending to cause trouble. But it may just have been that his faith just cling to it that at God's own time, it will work. So
Okay, sir.
the woman needs to now understand the husband too.
Hello. Yes, good evening. Who's calling? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Idari.
Yes, John from Idonri or James?
No, Peter.
Okay. Peter from Idonri. What do you have to say? What's your question?
My own question is this. There is a friend of mine.
Yes.
Who I'm married maybe 5 years ago.
Yes.
So, although they don't introduction.
Yes.
So for the wife of my friend, she said that until the big wedding. So from there, she will be able to just
Hello.
and really know her very well. She said,
Okay, she's not succumbing to sexual advances from the man because they are not wedded. Okay, they have just done introduction. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We could make some things out of that.
I think are we through with the first question now?
No.
I
just want us to. I would like to encourage the woman to first of all know why the husband is not following her to the hospital. Is it that the man is not interested in the pain they are going through? Is not feeling the pain with the woman, or is it that the man just feels God can do everything? I don't know. They may have different viewpoints with regards to the challenge they have. It will be good the woman understand the husband. If the husband is a faith kind of person, because I've met such a situation where the man says, she's the one troubling herself. I am not threatening her. I'm not compelling her. She's just the one. Sometimes I just wanted to help me talk with her. Sometimes she will refuse to eat, all in the name of Omobibi. So, sir, if you can just help me talk with her. So you really need to know the mind of your husband concerning this issue. If your husband is trusting in the Lord, why don't you believe with him? And both of you praying together, trusting God together that he will actually bring an answer to your situation. Like I wanted to refer to 1 Peter chapter 3 in verse 6 that referred to the case of Sarah, who was an exemplar of what they are passing through, even in a more serious measure. She prayed and God answered, or God intervened. So for those people, I'm sure God will definitely intervene in Jesus' name.
Amen. Before we go to the next question, from that question that you have just answered, but would the man also not need to do something by trying to carry the wife along to really know the kind of, even if it is faith, the kind of faith he's actually working with? Because sometimes even if you are doing the right thing, if you are not able to carry
your spouse
along,
she might not be able to work
to
with
understand you.
Yeah, it is very important that the man informs, sweetheart, I appreciate all the efforts you've been making, but why don't you let us just sit down and pray on this matter, trusting God. This is prayer we've been making. As we are praying, we also need to add this and add this. But understanding husband should say, okay, to fulfill all righteousness, let us go. And then you follow your wife there. I would want to encourage and counsel such a husband, please at least to assuage the pressure, the emotional tension or troubles that your wife is having. Why don't you go with her to the hospital? But we cannot also rule out this possibility of some men just
using that as a kind of a defense mechanism.
Yeah. So in such a situation, it might be the wife that will still adjust and continue to adjust. And as the man is not going, you sit down with him and be praying with him and be trusting God for him, taking care of him, knowing that God will one day answer your question. The only challenge I have is that we were unable to actually know
the kind of home. Because that's what I wanted to ask. Because if you're talking about the man is trusting, having faith, is this a man of faith indeed? Is it a man of faith indeed? On other issues, how much of faith has he
exercised? So if it's not a Christian home, I will simply advise them to come to Jesus, because Jesus has the answer to every life's challenges. It is the biggest encouragement. It is an adjustment too. You need to adjust spiritually if that had been an issue. Maybe let's just put that aside and attend to
let's attend to the other question that his friend and the friend's supposed wife, according to him, the friend's supposed wife now, they have done introduction, not yet married, and the husband, so to say, is now making some sexual advances, and that the supposed wife also is saying no. Now, he needs some advice and clarification.
Well, Mr. Peter, you are just asking for your friend. However, for the benefit of all of us, especially the Christians who might be listening out there, number one, they are not yet husband and wife. So you shouldn't refer to them as husbands and wife. They are not wedded. Introduction is not equivalent to wedlock. It's not the same as marriage. Anything can still happen in between. And the Bible warns that marriage must be honored by all, and bed must be undefiled. Adulterers and whoremongers, God will judge. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 4. So as long as the introduction is just come and know my family, and I come to know, and you bring your family to know mine, And that is introduction. So the husband family had been introduced to the woman's family. The woman's family had been introduced to the man's family. Sorry for using the word husband, because I've told you that they are not yet husband and wife, and they cease to carry that title until they become formally wedded together. And the woman is right by not just opening her tie for access to the husband. To the husband to be, or the man.
So let's use the word man. And
if the man really means business, let them fast track whatever they are doing, but go through the church proceeding. I will advise them to move close with their pastor. I perceive they should be Christians, and as believers, they are not sheep without shepherd. If you are in relationship courting a man, you should not get involved in sexual relationships yet. Courtship, introduction, and other things that you have done in between you're knowing him or her, and marriage is not equivalent to marriage. So
okay,
please,
can we please? Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Wow.
So all I'm saying is there are a lot of things people do these days. As long as they just begin relationship, is the guy I'm gonna marry, and then he asks me out, and before you know it, they are doing some funny things. Some of them will move to one another's house, beginning to play wifery. They go to the man's house, do some washing and some laundry.
I think that caller is trying to call back. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Who's on the line? Where are you calling from? Yeah, this is Let's Get Along on the... Yes, where are you calling from? Okay. You are welcome. Okay, what do you have to say?
Maybe he will need to...
Please move away from your television set. Hello? Please move away from your television set, or turn down the volume of your television. Tune down the volume of your television, or move away from the television set so that we can hear you clearly. Okay.
Is it advisable for a man to meet his wife after knowing that the wife has to marry before he married her?
Okay, the man did not know before marriage that the wife had a child, but after marriage now, he's getting to know that. So you are asking, what should that man? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Bankole from Akure.
Well, your question is actually gotten.
But you can, okay. Okay, sir.
To be very frank, such a situation is not good enough. It's not fair that the woman could conceal such important detail. And all the same, what we will encourage is not a divorce. It is a forgiveness. The Bible tells us in that same chapter 18 of the book of Matthew